Let's talk Bible, Torah, book of Numbers. Moses finally enters in the tabernacle tent. Let's get into it, bruh. Left off with in the book of Leviticus how God gave a bunch of rules to the Israelites because their sins were so great that they couldn't enter in the tent. So he provided ways of the Israelites to live so that they could be pure enough to enter in the tent. They're finally pure. They finally enter the tent. That's what this book is about. So boom, chapters 1 to 4. The people of Israel are arranged and numbered. That's where the name of this book came from. So these chapters pertain laws of how the Israelites should be arranged in the camp. So you have the tabernacle at the center, and then you have the priest and the Levites surrounding the tabernacle, and then you have the 12 tribes and Judah surrounding the priests and the Levites. And this is to represent how God's holy presence will be at the center of everything that the Israelites do. Let's see if it work out. So chapters 5 to 10 is basically a law. There's a bunch of laws about ritual purity, and it's a whole series of law that was in the book of Leviticus, but they're re-announcing them and reminding the Israelites about these laws again. And again, if God's presence is gonna really be at the center of everything that they do this time, they have to make sure that everything is just right to the T, right? So now from chapters 10 to 12, the Israelites follow a cloud that lifts into Mount Sinai and guides them into the promised land. So things terribly goes wrong automatically. So chapter 11, people begin to complain again. They talk about there's no food, they're thirsty, they're this, they're that, and how they wish they could go back to Egypt, which is really crazy because they treated them so wrong. But it also shows the conditions that they were in, trusting God, that they wanted to go back to Egypt, which is actually crazy to me. And in the following chapter 12, Moses' brother Aaron and his sister Miriam opposes him in front of people. So they start talking bad about him, which is actually crazy, right? This is probably like my favorite part of the book. So chapters 13 and 14, Moses sent 12 spies, each representing the 12 tribes of Israel, to go into the land of Canaan, which was aka the promised land, to see what's over there. And 10 people came back and was like, I'm not gonna lie, these Canaans will destroy us. Like, God is not great enough, he's not good enough, like we're gonna lose. If we go over there, we're gonna lose. Two of them, which was Joshua and Caleb, was like, no, I promise you, like I know it looks crazy, but I promise you, like, God has our back. Because 10 is bigger than 2, that sent the Israelite camp to an uproar, and they were just all panicking, going crazy, and doubting God once again. And that got God really angry, right? So Moses was like, once again, he's calming God down. He's like, look, remember the promise that you made to Abraham? Like, I know they tripping right now. I know it's a lot going on, bro, but I promise you, like, don't, whatever it is that you're about to do, don't do it. Like, don't do it. So God said, okay, I'm not going to do nothing. But this generation will not inherit the land. Only their children will enter the promised land. There's 16 to 17, it talks about the rebellion of Quran. So a group of Levites challenges Moses and Aaron's leadership, right? And God deals with these Levites and also gives Aaron and Moses, it's like a 5-year contract. Like, he renews their leadership. He gives them another contract. He renews the covenant, if you will. I think that's a better term. This is like the rising climate, or this is the climate. Chapters 20 about people complain once again and start questioning Moses once again, right? And God told Moses to speak to a rock so that water can come out. But Moses did not do that. What Moses did was he hit the rock twice, dishonored God by putting himself in God's position, and start calling out the Israelites on their rebellion. One thing about it, there's times where God does not need you to speak up for him. He got it. And that's what happened with Moses. And because of Moses' disobedience, he too will not inherit the promised land, which sucks for him because I feel like he did a lot. He sacrificed a lot and won't be able to inherit the land, which sucks. So now chapters 21, the bronze snake. So what happens is the people continues to rebel and they don't get it. Like, they don't get it. But you know what? That's okay, because that's us today. We don't get it, but God is so good. God is so gracious. But God sends the snakes to bite the people in the camp, and Moses intercedes for these people again. What I find crazy is, though Moses cannot inherit the promised land, he's still helping out God. He's still helping out Israel, and like That takes another capacity of leadership that Moses had. So God told Moses to put a bronze snake on a staff, and whoever looks at it will be healed. And that was that. Now, chapters 22 to 25, the Israelites enter the land of Moab. King of Moab was so intimidated by the group of Israelites. Like, they were coming in deep, right? Coming in really deep. So he sends a sorcerer named Balaam to put curses on the Israelites. But for some reason, Balaam could not put curses on Israel. Instead, he just started uttering out blessings and blessings and blessings and blessings and blessings on them. And he also foreshadowed and gave a vision about a future king that will bring justice. Now, the king could have been King David, it could have been Jesus. In the Bible times, a lot of people got those two confused. People really thought that when Jesus came in, Jesus was not the Messiah. It was actually King David in the Old Testament, which was actually crazy. Chapters 22 to 36, the next generation prepares to enter the promised land. In chapters 32, it talks about how Israel, the new generation, had many victories over a lot of enemies, like the Canaanites, the Moabites, and so on and so forth. And in chapters 34 to 36, the tribe begins to settle into the promised land. Guys, they made it. Sucks that Moses did not. Sucks that the first generation of people that was out of Egypt did not inherit it, but the people inherited it, and that's the book of Numbers.